Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Kofi Ima. Here I break down tech into something simple that anyone can understand. Without much ado, let's get started. So today I'm going to talk about variables. What is a variable? So let me bring it down to a level that we will all understand. Think of a variable like a container or a box. You put something inside the box, give it a name, and anytime you need what is inside that box, you just call the name or that name. That is simply how a variable is. So I'm going to write a simple variable for you to see how it works. Now I'm teaching you this in PHP, so it is basically for PHP. PHP writing variable, it always starts from using the dollar sign. That is how a variable is being written. So I can say dollar sign fruit. Then I will assign the fruit to what? Mango. Okay. So this is it. This is what is happening here. Let's use our kitchen as an example. When you enter every kitchen, there are drawers, okay? So let's take a variable as drawers in our kitchen. We have each drawer and a label, and each drawer has a specific item or a unique item being saved in it. That is simply how a variable works. So let's put it this way. Assuming you have four drawers in your kitchen, you label it mango, pineapple, tomatoes, water. You cannot mix all these items together within one drawer. And it makes it very easy for you anytime you want to go for a mango. You know which drawer to what. That is how simple a variable is. So anytime you write a variable and you want to call on or you want to have that value called, you just have to call on that word. So let's start something. Let's start with PHP. Anytime you see PHP here, it tells you that the document we're working on is what? PHP. Then we know that PHP always starts with this and ends with what? This. So inside here is where our logic is being written, and it tells the computer that right inside here you can execute or run everything that is inside. That is where the code starts, and this is where the code what ends. That is what these two things tells your computer. PHP is a server-side language or a scripting language that runs on a server. So as I speak with you, as I am working on this with you, I have my exam set up. You can download one exam map, any of it is going to work for you. Let's continue with the variable thing. So I earlier on created a variable with the name fruit, and I assigned a value of what? Mango to what? It. Simple. So anytime I want to display the value or the assigned, I am only going to call on what? Fruit. So let's go on and say echo what? Fruit. Now, someone may ask, what is an echo? So, echo is a command or a keyword in PHP that helps in displaying or outputting things. Okay, so echo what? Fruit. So, we are talking of what? Outputting what? Mango. Let's go on and save it and open in our browser to see. So, you could see that in our browser, we could only see what? Mango. It means we call on the what? Mango. That is how simple it is to write a variable. Variable does not only store text, that in other words we call string. Variable can also store numbers or integers. So I can go on and increase another variable and say as what? Age, and I'm going to assign it to 25. Then I think you have also seen a semicolon. The semicolon tells you that we are done with this line. Let's move to the next line. That is for the semicolon does. So anytime you're running your code, it runs it, it says, okay, we are done with this. Anytime you see the semicolon, it jumps to the next one and all that. So that is what the semicolon also what means. So let's try outputting or echoing the age and also see what we get. Right. So we got the age, we see 25 here. Now you could see that the 25, mango 25, it's more like it's on the same line. So we can break the line, and I think we've all learned this in HTML using what we call the line break. So what I'm going to do is to also echo another line, and this time I'm going to say what? PR. The line break uses the PR tag. It breaks the line. Anytime you are writing a string that has a sequence of text, you have to use the quotation. Okay, that is why when you check the variable fruit, it has quotation marks on it. This one is wrong. This is wrong. I have to, it is right but wrong. If I am writing an integer solely, then it has to be only number. But immediately I add the quotation mark to it. What it tells it is that the 25 is a string and not an integer anymore. That is why you could see that the 25 is still displaying here because it is being displayed as a string. But in data types, a string and an integer are two different things. Okay, so if you are writing an integer, you don't have to come with the quotation marks. But this is right because immediately the quotation marks comes, it makes it what? It makes it a string sequence of text. So now I'm going to remove the quotation marks from it, and you see the color changes to what? Green. Let's continue by breaking the line, just like I did. I'll save it, go into the browser, refresh it, and you could see that now the 25 is on a different line. Let's try to write a simple line of text using the two variables that we have created. So echo, I can simply say echo, I love S fruit. And what I would say is I love S fruit and I have S age as we speak. Then I will close it and end it with what? A semicolon. Now I'll write, and you could see that I love mango and I have 25 as what we speak. Let's try to break that very line on another. Uh, so I'll issue another echo, and I will say line break BR, and now it is going to make sure that it moves it to the next line. So you see, I love mango and I have 25 as we speak. That is how simple you can play around with variables. Thank you for watching this very tutorial. In our next tutorial, I'm going to teach you about data types in PHP.